Hello and welcome back. I am Allmrak. The Coubertin Cup is our third live Super Blitz tournament of Through the Ages. This video is the second match from the first qualifying event we held on June 6th. The first match is on DJParson's YouTube channel. I've put a link to that video in the description below. And with that, I'll hand it over to DJ Parson.
And welcome back to the second game of the first qualifier of the Coubertin Cup. And this time it's gonna be Pajada against Kimmo. And it takes Hammurabi for one. I mean, Hammurabi is S tier on my list, and Pajada definitely watched those, so
Yep.
Never heard about that, taking Hammurabi before, so definitely Pajada learned that from me. Definitely.
I'm sure he did.
So just putting this, it's not this anymore. And we have Kimmo.
And then Kimmo here has a choice. I guess you could do Richland Urban Growth, or you could do Engineering Genius, or Urban Growth and Homer, perhaps. Those would be probably the choices I would consider.
Yeah, keep on talking. I have to fix.
Engineering Genius seems good. What did they had to do? Oh yeah, he took Hammurabi. So you have these wonders. Well, you have at least one good wonder, but I would imagine that Piata's going to take the library here.
Oh yeah, and library and Hammurabi, old school combo, very very strong.
Yeah, gets his bronze, it gets his population. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, you did play before the expansion too, right?
I did, yeah.
So you also, what was your favorite combo? Always people are talking between Hammurabi and Pyramids, Hammurabi and Library, or Aristotle was in a lot of people's favor.
Yeah, Aristotle. I prefer to Hammurabi to Aristotle. Yeah. For sure.
So we're gonna see Kimmo now.
Yeah. So Stonehenge. Nope. Doesn't want it.
Didn't want it. Takes Engineering Genius. Draws Heavy Cavalry. Do you have the screen, and do we have Genghis Khan in the match?
We do, yes.
Oh, so that Heavy Cavalry draw can definitely come in handy for him. And Pajada will take Alchemy. I mean, yeah, if the first card draw is full of HA cards, you often don't want to take them, or you take two of them. I mean, and the Alchemy. So he wants to skip his second lab, go for Alchemy immediately. Can finish the library next turn. I mean, I like that. Stockpile also perfectly fine with Hammurabi especially. You do have the civil actions for that, so I'm a big fan of that.
In what situation would you consider Printing Press over Alchemy here? I mean, you haven't built your other lab yet.
Almost never, to be honest. I mean, Printing Press really is probably the least taken technology card. Maybe Theocracy nowadays, that is also not really picked that much, but Printing Press is really hard to justify. I mean, maybe you can justify Printing Press if both Alchemies are gone already and you really, really need it. But other than that, yeah, I don't really see.
There's not a lot of good leaders for it either. I mean, Shakespeare's in the game, you could make a case for Gaudi potentially, but there's no Einstein, there's no Fleming. Makes it even worse. There's no Darwin.
Is there Shakespeare?
There is Shakespeare, yeah.
So do you have your best leader with Printing Press?
Yeah.
Did you catch my last stream where Drawdown? He didn't force me to go for Shakespeare. He did that. He did a Shakespeare challenge, and we tried so often to make Shakespeare work, and it never worked. But last stream it did. It finally worked, and we even won.
Nice.
Yeah, that was awesome. So Kimmo now has.
And we didn't quite conclude it there, but Pajada did not take Alchemy, and he did not build a lab either.
Oh, yeah, we should focus on the turn, probably. So yeah, Kimmo now has no wonder. Does he take Colossus here? He has Engineering Genius in hand, so...
Probably. I mean, it feels a little bad, but...
Okay, so he takes the Alchemy. And then what else? Yeah, it's really hard to decide what you want to do with this turn, right? I mean, the card row really not that great. I mean, Alchemy is good, but then Printing Press and Theocracy. Printing Press definitely not if you have Alchemy already. Right. So I think taking the Colossus, building one step maybe. Oh, can't build a step, but yeah, still taking that. Maybe increase population.
And Theocracy and Joan of Arc are just a few cards away from each other.
Oh yeah, that's true. And that used to be my favorite combo, Hammurabi and then Theocracy and Joan of Arc before the expansion came out. Nowadays, you don't see that as often anymore. There are stronger things. Zizka, for example.
Yeah, he's not in either of our games. I haven't seen him in a game in a while,
oh, right.
to be honest.
I think they banned Zizka.
Yeah. You also, I mean, you're holding heavy cavalry and there's a knights there. I mean, might be something to consider.
And at least like this, the knights will not be gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That seems good. Now pajada. There's also Gutenberg. So we do have Printing Press and Gutenberg, but probably not the one that pajada wants to go for. And Joan of Arc stays on 2. I mean, I guess pajada just finishes the library this turn. And really, yeah, maybe play stockpile. Again, the card row is not the greatest. I mean, knights are pretty important. I would be surprised if he doesn't take the knights.
Yeah.
Oh, it takes Code of Laws for 2. And then he can take one more card. Maybe the knights still.
Yeah, I mean, you're holding Phalanx too.
Oh. Why does he want to go for that cartography that much? Not really sure why he values that as highly as he does.
Yeah. Maybe he's just trying to not move the card row a certain way, and he's taking cartography to not move it as much.
Okay, now he played the territory. I guess he decided to go for the cartography because he played that territory now, or the other way around. He decided to go for cartography, and then of course he plays that territory first.
And I guess this keeps Engineering Genius on 2 if he's trying to prioritize that.
Oh right, yeah, maybe that's why he didn't want to take the Knights and Code of Laws or something. So Kimmo's turn now. Decides against... Oh, he wants to go for Joan of Arc. I mean, yeah, with... oh, he plays pretty fast. He wanted... He had... what leader did he have before Joan of Arc now? Hippocrates, right? Yeah, with Hippocrates, you definitely want to get a new leader soon. So Joan of Arc, she's never bad. She gives a lot of different stuff. So you can definitely use her. And he goes for Taj Mahal as first wonder. That is not something you see every day. That is...
It's not something you see.
Yeah. Can finish that next turn. Has 2 Engineering Geniuses now, so it won't be too expensive for him. Problem with Taj Mahal is it doesn't give you as much. It doesn't really give you anything besides the culture production. So the barbarians, yeah, we will definitely discard those barbarians because he will have the most culture from Joan of Arc and the Taj Mahal. And it looks like pajada will probably go for Leonardo da Vinci. Maybe that's what Kimmo's thinking about at the moment. So let's take a look. Well, pajada, he has drawn another territory, the Inhabited. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for that cartography soon, but okay. Pajada doing it for chat maybe? Takes Printing Press and Drama? Are we gonna see Shakespeare? Guys, do we see Shakespeare here?
I wonder how much pajada is just going to troll us by showing us stuff and then not doing it.
Alright, that's something you can definitely do. Pajada likes to take his time with the turns, and maybe he shows you something that you would like to see, but then he decides against that. We've seen that last time quite often, that he does that. Oh, it looks like Hannes' opponent isn't online. Maybe you can check up.
I did, unfortunately. Yeah, we had to do a forfeit there.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Was it Gogu? Gyoloku?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep, that was him.
Too bad. If you sign up for tournament, guys, be ready for when it starts.
Yeah. We'll follow up with him afterward. Hopefully get him into the one next week on Sunday.
Yeah. Right, guys, so there's another tournament. If you've missed your chance, maybe you didn't know about the tournament or anything, you should really know about it. We had a nice announcement trailer. If you couldn't make it today or something, there's another chance next Sunday, so in 8 days, and then you're gonna have another try. All of the ones that didn't make it this turn, this qualifier can also resign for the next one. So be ready for more Through the Ages action next Sunday. Pajada, he has a pretty hard turn, it seems. He takes a lot of time, and he wants to go for the printing press and the drama. Still only at one lab. I guess he wants to really go for the printing press. And another, inhabited territory and vast territory now in hand. That can be a big game changer.
There is no Suez Canal in this game, for what that's worth. And I mean, he has options too, right? I mean, Bach is also in the game.
Oh yeah, right.
There is no Marlena, but he can get to Chaplin.
Yeah. So Kimmo will play the Call to Arms and opens development of planning. What did he take? Probably the science, right? 2 science. I mean, you could alternatively go for the development of civil life and go for alchemy, so you get 1 civil action and 1 science.
What's worth more at this point, a civil action or a science?
I mean, probably the civil action, depending a little bit on what you have. Kimmo is at 4, so I would probably take the civil action. I mean, breakthroughs cost 1 civil action and they are worth 2 science, so that's something you can always try to, value things by what yellow cards can give you. So 1 civil action in HA can be 1 resource for urban growth or something, and then in H2 you can say 1 civil action is worth 2 resources. Science is a little bit more worth it, so that's actually why breakthrough is probably the best yellow card. 1 civil action for 2 science is just such a big deal. But yeah, so he took the science, right? Looks like he doesn't want to go for the alchemy. Wants to go for iron first.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if Pajada sees Kimmo with Taj Mahal and thinks he has a little extra room to go for Shakespeare.
Yeah. I would really love to see Shakespeare in this game. I would get very excited about that. So Kimmo will not upgrade any of these. Has 11 science. Let's hope there's no Dark Ages in the game. At least, I mean, he has Joan of Arc. He will know if that's on top. It looks like Pajada wants to go for the... Yeah, he's considering that, which one he wants, but goes for science. He really needs science. I agree there. And can go for the... We're gonna see...
Civil life
he misclicked.
Civil life is interesting when you have Gutenberg also, because by doing that you take away his ability.
Oh,
so
right.
you have free civil action with him anyway.
Also, did you see that? Pajada misclicked. That happens so often to me, that you want to build like the printing press and you build a religion. Because he's also a dragger. There are a lot of people who play differently. I like to drag my yellow cubes. There are people who like to click on the cards or click on the urban growth and build it like that. But if you drag, you can often build that religion by accident.
Yeah. I'm definitely a dragger. I drag everything.
Yeah.
The one thing that I drag that I don't see other people drag much is tactics. Like when you're copying a tactic.
Yeah.
You just drag your flag over to the tactic you want instead of clicking the tactic you want.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Now you do.
Now I do. That's why you are in front of me in the scorings.
That's right.
Yeah. So Hannes, Pajada did do that and took iron as well. So he has iron, drama, and cartography in his hand now. So at least he has breakthrough as well. And now it's 3 science production. Oh, and Kimmo is playing too fast for me. What did he do here? Still not going for iron or alchemy. What did he do? Took knights and the iron, I guess.
Must have taken iron and knights, and then I don't know what else he did.
Maybe build, upgrade, increase population, build a religion. Or did he have that religion already?
No, I think he built that.
It's a really interesting. Kimmo has 3 colonization cards in hand, and Pajada has played that 1 territory, and he has 2 more in hand, but only 1 colonization card. But he has the cartography, so it's gonna be really, really close who wins the first territory.
He has 3 territories in hand now, actually. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, if I was Kimmo here, I would actually. I mean, and maybe this is misplaced, but I would almost be nervous about Shakespeare at this point.
Yeah,
yeah, set up for it.
Yeah, probably you see this and you wanna make the game dirty, right? You wanna make him not possible to go for Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
And there, it happened again. Pajada having troubles with building the library. But yeah, that's definitely something that you have to consider. Can you allow this game to go peacefully and allow Pajada to go for dramas and printing presses with Shakespeare? Or do you have to stomp on him, try to make this messy, try to go for military? So he wants the swordsman can take 1 more thing. He has a nice science production now, 4, that is definitely good. So maybe he doesn't want the cultural heritage. I guess Pajada is mostly doing this because he knows that Kimmo took the Taj Mahal. So Kimmo has great culture production already, has invested a lot into that, so Pajada can justify doing that as well. Maybe that's the way that Pajada is looking at this.
He does go for it. Oh, no, he's thinking about it. I mean, the good news is that since Pajada's in the match, we won't finish quite as quickly.
Yeah, Pajada takes his time. He told me he's more of a... I guess you guys can hear that when you talk to him, right? Pajada's more of an async kind of player. Last time he played in the tournament, he told me that it was quite stressful for him playing in Super Blitz. Especially on the tournament, you want to play correctly.
Yep.
So this is interesting. Now, Kimmo sees the vast territory on top, and he has 3 boats in hand. So he can have a colonization force of 4. Pajada has 2 colonization from his cartography. So I guess Kimmo doesn't want to play something. Yeah, it's tough call.
Yeah, he's building another unit so he can bid it. Is that the idea here?
Oh, I'd bid the knight then, you get more, maybe even bid both of them. So at least you can make it expensive for Pajada maybe. So that is definitely good knowledge gained by Joan of Arc. That's definitely very important. And that's one of her big bonuses that you see the top card. I mean, I say it's one of the big ones. Joan of Arc she has 4 different things that she has, and all of them are okay, I would say. So she's very, very versatile, and none of these are like this is her main ability and the rest is there as well. All of those are quite good, but none of them alone would be enough. But for different things, yeah, then I really like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and people want to bet.
I also, Born Larson says he bets there's a correlation between clickers and choosers of Moses. That made me laugh. That's funny.
Yeah. So if you want to do bets, guys, I guess you guys are already ready for that. Then I have to do that really, really quickly. I have to hop out of this one. You guys can still see what Kimmo is seeing, and pajada takes a long time anyway, so... you have to talk a little bit.
Yes, I will. Pajada is taking his turn. Sorry, I got distracted, if I'm being honest, because
I'm back now, and we see Shakespeare. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but there's Shakespeare in a tournament game.
Oh, he's there.
He's there, and he works. He also needs the happy face. He really needs.
How much culture I have. Sorry, that's what I wanted to do.
You wanted to check how much culture you have. Yeah, everybody's checking how much they have.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, pajada really needs the happy face from Shakespeare, so that is great. That is not always that you need the happy face and still go for it, or that you can actually use that part of Shakespeare's ability, that you need that happy face. And then looks like he doesn't want to go for the drama this turn, but wants to go for upgrading his swordsman instead. And a lot of guys are betting, guys. You guys are crazy about the bets. Sadly, I can't check the statistics because what you're seeing is my Firefox window, so I would have to hop out of that again. But yeah, interesting that. Is he? I guess. What is his plan? Also, would you take Shakespeare for 3 here? Are you afraid that he gets taken away? Will Kimmo really commit to taking Shakespeare without having any setup just to take it away for 2 civil actions? I guess pajada also really needs the happy face, as we said, right?
Yeah. I mean, he can solve the happiness. Just well, no, he can't. Yeah, he does need it. It is tough. I mean, he has reasonable backup plans if he doesn't get Shakespeare. But I mean, you've come this far, so it feels bad to take the risk that you might not get him. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's also worth something if your opponent has to take Shakespeare away from you.
Yeah, that's true.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. Now I am become death.
So, I mean, primarily here, Shakespeare's just making him not have to solve happiness, because he would have to destroy something, right?
Yeah. Also, thanks, Jingus, for the subscription. Really appreciate that. You're gonna see that in 2 minutes. That is really weird with the delay, but yeah, I think we should do that differently next time. But yeah, pajada has decided to go with that, right? So
yeah,
we do see Shakespeare in a big tournament game between 2 super high-level players. I guess all of this was enabled by the Taj Mahal, right? If you go Taj Mahal first wonder, you give your opponent confirmation that he can go for culture play as well. To a degree. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna see if that works out for him or not. You're gonna see if you can make that work.
Kimmo took is that St. Pete's? Is that what that is? Yeah.
Yeah, that's St. Pete's. So Kimmo can finish that next turn. I mean, it's great synergy with Joan of Arc. The question is how long is he going to have that, but he also needs the happy faces really, really badly. I'm really curious that he took early alchemy and iron and didn't go for any of those 2. He also didn't. Right. He has irrigation in hand. We talked about that last turn, right? Or last game, where and pajada all of a sudden does crazy stuff, builds 2 dramas, and takes everything back again. I guess he deleted his lab. I guess you don't need that.
Yep. Yeah, we talked last game about efficiency, right? And so taking those cards and not using them is just a little bit of inefficiency.
Yeah.
Right?
And it was Fabian, right, who had alchemy, iron, and irrigation last game. At the beginning, like at the spot where we had, and he had all of them developed and built. He had upgraded all of this, and Kimmo has all of them in hand, but hasn't gone for a single one of them yet.
Yeah,
so that's
about the same point in the game too, right?
Yeah.
Where he was completely upgraded.
Yeah. That's crazy how the game state can be so different, because Kimmo decided to go for the knights and everything.
Yeah.
And also pajada. Usually you see people really prioritizing going for early iron. If you already have that in your hand, why not go for it? But he looks like he has other plans. And he also probably would like that breakthrough. I mean, it feels pretty bad. You could take breakthrough and efficient upgrade for your iron, for example. That is free iron upgrade. Yeah, with 3 swordsmen going for the Great Wall, also good, but those 2 yellow cards are so important. Yeah, I guess it's a hard choice. You really want to start going with Shakespeare now that you have him. You want to build those dramas, but you also want that Great Wall. You have to be competitive with strength.
Yeah.
So I guess a really tough choice. I mean, it's the beginning of H2 and he's already down half his reserve time. So he's definitely a thinker, but that's awesome to see. He's one of the great minds.
It's such a game of balance, right? I mean, you have Shakespeare, and so there's this temptation to get all the way into Shakespeare. You get your other drama and get all that going, but like it seems like if you get out of balance that far, it usually is not going to pay off. So you have to balance things out a bit.
How awesome would it be if Kimmo now takes Eiffel Tower and pajada takes Louvre and they go all out on cultural action? But there's the vast territory first. There it is.
Yeah, so Kimmo picked up some more cards, or one more card to help with that.
And he bids everything, and pajada now is thinking about it. Bids 7, and Kimmo can bid 8. And he wins it. Yeah. He has drawn all of those colonization cards, and they paid off. He only has to send away 1 knight, so that worked out perfectly for him. So the information that he got from Joan of Arc was really, really helpful for him. Meant he could keep all of his colonization cards, could go for the knights to make it cheaper.
That is the only one he's going to win, probably, though.
Yeah, that's true. There are more colonies coming, and Kimmo has now spent all of his colonization cards. So that's really the big benefit of the cartography, that maybe you don't win the first one, but you're gonna win the other ones, or you should, if you don't get super unlucky. But in 4 and 3 player games, it can feel like if everybody else has good cartography, you go for the cartography and you play 2 or 3 colonies, and you still don't win any of them because all of the others have drawn so good that each one of them gets 1. That can be pretty feels bad, man. But in 2 player games, if you commit to the cartography, and you have, I mean, also pajada doesn't have the best military actions, and Kimmo has 4, so it's more likely that Kimmo has more colonization cards. So yeah, that's something you always have to keep in mind. And Kimmo took reserves and breakthrough. Okay, and now pajada has 2 more territories coming, or in hand. I think he should commit to those, right? Yeah, plays inhabited. And they're strategic. He's gonna win that one easily.
Oh yes.
Or did Kimmo draw any new ones? It looks like he's considering what he wants to bid.
Oh wow, he drew 2 more.
He did draw 2 more. This is pretty unlucky for pajada. He has immediately drawn 2 more.
Territory, the one you want to use your cards on now, though. I mean,
you draw new ones.
Any other territories, so you might as well, right?
And Kimmo really thinks about it. Usually, I mean, he's not the fastest player, but he really thinks long about territories. Something you should probably do, especially if it's historic territories, especially those from H2. Those can cost you a whole championship.
I would say if you have a historic 2 territory come out and you seeded terrorism, you should probably not bid to it.
Oh man, you knew. Perfect. Chat is gonna love that in 2 minutes. So yeah, pajada not getting any of his 2 territories that he planted. Yeah, that's has a lot to do with card draw, with keeping cards in hand, and with luck. There's always luck, can't deny that. But he has 11 culture production now. I mean, that has to be worth something as well, right?
Yeah. And I think Kimmo's at 7 or 8.
Yeah, this is
7,
7. Yeah, he started it with the Taj Mahal, and now pajada really going ham with that. Did we see already what Kimmo has drawn? Not yet. We're gonna see that once pajada has finished his turn, if he has drawn even more colonization cards. But pajada will play the cultural heritage. He's really thinking about this turn. Wants that urban growth. He needs resources for the Great Wall. He needs resources to upgrade iron.
I mean, sort of the good news for pajada is that Kimmo's economy is also pretty weak, right?
Yeah, that's true. Both of them really haven't upgraded anything. Problem is, Kimmo really doesn't need to upgrade his food production anymore, because he got the vast territory and his yellow bank is looking amazingly. And he didn't draw new colonization cards, he drew aggressions and wars. So taking a close look at what is left in the deck. Probably wants Nobel, I would say. Nobel probably one of the better leaders for him, especially with low science production. Oh, and Call to Arms coming up. Oh, that is really bad for Kimmo that he hasn't drawn a new politics card or a new event card, so he can't play something and he can't reveal the Call to Arms. So yeah, the events deck or the military deck give us and it takes us away. And it gives Kimmo a lot of colonization cards, but no events, so he can't reveal the Call to Arms. So will he finally upgrade something? Will he go for alchemy, iron or irrigation, or will he stay? Oh, what did he spend his resources on? Another knight, rebuilding the knight. That probably means he was at 7 strength before that, so it doesn't even hurt him. He wasn't even able to go for the Call to Arms, right? Did I miscalculate that?
I'm not sure. He was at 7. Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
He would not have wanted to reveal it.
The tactic gives 3 with knights, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Also, reds still in the deck. Call to Arms and reds. Both don't really have good food production. And yeah, pajada with the 3 agricultures. You have the spreadsheet, right? Is there the ocean liner service in the game?
Which one? Ocean liner? No, there is not an ocean liner.
And I think the selective breeding hasn't come out yet, so that should definitely be something that is highly contested. I guess Kimmo does have irrigation in hand, so he doesn't need it as much, but pajada definitely needs food. I guess especially because Kimmo has the vast territory.
Yeah. And I think pajada put in inhabited, so there's...
Oh yeah.
If we get around to that relatively soon, that would help.
Yeah. If he wins that, or
yeah, right.
If the deck is more kind to him. So Kimmo, he's looking a lot at pajada's hand and not really. Yeah, he's not. That's really interesting. He's not playing around with the civil actions. He's just looking at the cards left in the deck, at pajada's civilization, and not really testing out anything. So
He's thinking maybe two main lines and just has to make the decision on which one he wants to go after.
But usually you see players try that out, right? You're gonna do what you can and then see how that looks. Oh, once the conman, that was what he was thinking about, denying constitutional monarchy from Pajada.
Huh.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's denying the military actions, right? I mean, we've seen that really, really hurt people.
Yeah, we definitely have seen that. So Pajada here, I mean, he has 3. He does have the warfare. Yeah, he should definitely skip politics and does exactly that. Can't finish his Great Wall and he has to be careful with that. At least there are reserves that he maybe can go for. But if he's not careful, he will lose his Great Wall before he can finish it. And that's definitely not something you wanna do. So he plays a territory and call to arms comes up and he draws 2 more territories.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and now at least he has colonization card in hand. I guess it's not the worst spot to get the call to arms on him. Like, he probably doesn't want opera, or he can't take Bach, he doesn't want scientific method, so his civil actions aren't worth that much this turn because there's not a lot of great stuff he could grab. So better this turn maybe than next turn, so that it doesn't hit him as much.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 territories in the game, or in the deck, 2 more in Pajada's hand. I mean, he prepared for the colony game, but
yeah.
And now he has another one, but I think he'd rather have colonization cards instead of that.
It is just funny that Pajada has no... I just look at his landscape and there's no territories back there, but it seems like there should be.
Yeah, there definitely should be.
Alright. So Kimmo, I think he seeded Iconoclasm and then Rats came out. So they both lost their food.
How much food did they have?
Not much. They had 1 or 2 each, something like that. I think Pajada maybe had 2 and Kimmo had 1.
When there's selective breeding, I don't think Kimmo can grab that away as well, so Pajada will get that if he wants. And looks like Kimmo will finally go for iron as well. It's really interesting to see these guys delay that as much and still want to go for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, what does Kimmo do with the rest? I mean, you take Nobel, right? That's pretty much given, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure would.
And is he just okay with not going for alchemy and irrigation this game? Oh, and he doesn't want to play Nobel yet. Guess he wants to keep the military action? No, does he want not the cultural action? I mean, one culture.
What the next event is? I don't know.
Interesting. And he has tactics now, but he doesn't have the swordsman for that. Interesting. So Pajada really play another territory? I think you should, right? You have the cartography still. Yeah. And there's Inhabited. Maybe he can finally win one. I would really hope that he does. He put so much territories in. And Kimmo, so...
What does Kimmo bid here?
Pajada bid 7, right? He could bid 7.
So for Kimmo here, is it figuring out what's the safe amount I can go up to make him pay? Wow, Kimmo has another card too.
Whoa, really? Yeah. Is he thinking about sending away both knights? Yeah. I mean, you deny Pajada population, that's pretty important. Especially because he doesn't have the best happy faces either, so when the age is over, he will need more happy faces. But you can't, yeah, you can't, yeah, maybe like this, send away one warrior and the knight, but both knights probably can't do that.
Yeah, it's got it for 5.
Oh, that one. So pajada wins it for 1 swordsman. That's pretty good for him, and he can keep his card. And he got use out of his H1 card, so that was pretty much perfect for pajada here.
Yep.
And yeah, you should. He takes cavalryman. Doesn't even have tactic, or does he? Can he copy a tactic? Is there one?
Hussars, right?
Hussars. Oh yeah, right. Hasn't drawn.
So those swordsmen will just be the colonization force for a couple of territories and rebuild cavalrymen.
Yeah, that's interesting what pajada does. He doesn't want the rich land, but takes patriotism instead. Guess he doesn't need more resources. He will lose the Great Wall. I guess he just says he hasn't invested that much into that yet. He will go for the SARS. He didn't draw a tactic with swordsman or anything, so he has to go for a SARS and send away the swordsman for the territories, as you said. That's. I
mean, since you're on horses, Great Wall is not going to be as good for you anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that's a great play by pajada to adjust your game plan to what you draw. If he had drawn, I don't know, defensive army or anything, he would definitely have played differently.
Yeah.
So great adaptive play by him.
So I think he invested 2 resources and 3 civil actions into it.
Yeah.
8.
Oh yeah, the next territory coming up. He did reveal that, even though he saw that, right?
Yeah, I mean, he thinks pajada just won it. He has a card, maybe he can get it. He needs the science.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And pajada wins it and sends away both swords.
8.
Both swordsmen. That's expensive, especially because there's more territories coming up.
Yeah, I mean, there's others coming. I mean, I guess you don't know when they'll come out.
Yeah, I guess those were the last 2 from the events deck, from the current one. I'm not sure. Hopefully someone looks at that at some point, but yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is an interesting game with the high culture production and all of the territories. That is quite unique and really interesting to see how these players, these high-level players, adapt to the current game, how the game is going. That is what you always have to do when you're playing this game. And this is quite interesting on that. I really like it. I enjoy this match quite a lot. That is so much unusual thinking that you have to do, that you normally would be pretty clear what you do, but in this, it's with the territories, so that's really interesting, with the unique position where both are producing a lot of culture this early. And as you said earlier, you always have to balance that with military, because that can still break your neck if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
So Kimmo thinks about what he wants to discard. Not the greatest tactics from him, and actually discards a classic army. Interesting.
It's interesting. Discarded classic and kept Napoleonic.
Yeah. Okay, so pajada will lose the Great Wall. And strategy last card. But pajada can go for Republic this turn. That looks okay, pretty good, I would say even. Now we can finally build the second cavalryman, go up to 12 strength. Sadly still not the strongest, but yeah, still looking pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
Still pretty low resource production, but at least 4 is better than 3. Food still not great. I mean, he has his culture production set up. That's the good news. Also, he didn't play a new territory, right? Maybe there's one more territory coming and he doesn't want to reveal that yet. Because he doesn't have any colonization cards in hand. And
There's the current deck has no territories in it.
Oh, okay.
It has it has iconoclasm and then something else that Kimmo put in.
Iconoclasm, oh. That's... I mean, it's gonna hurt both of them. But probably more for Pajada. Losing 4 culture production. So, okay, it doesn't. Okay, now it doesn't go for Republic. There's Pierre, right?
Is there Pierre? Yes, there is.
Yeah, that makes sense that he takes team spots then. Still not sure. I mean, I like the Republic play. Finally getting some civil actions, but it seems like he wanted to go for the team spots instead. Also pretty important. So yeah, don't want to say that it's wrong, but. And now Kimmo, yeah,
I mean, he doesn't have a lot of science either, so it's
yeah,
investing 11 there is maybe tough. So he does put.
There was another. You lied to us.
Oh yeah, well, Pajada didn't put it in though. Kimmo put it in.
Okay, that's what you meant. So yeah, so did Pajada draw any new colonization cards? He drew 2. That is lucky draw. That's that colonization draw is really what gives a lot of spice to this.
Yeah.
To this match. So yeah, Pajada will win it and draw 4 more. Now 5 more cards. Maybe some more colonization. Nope. This time no colonization cards.
And now we have the Vast 2 is in there still.
And next card, Iconoclasm. Yeah, interesting. So Kimmo, I mean, his tactic draw, he drew a lot of tactics, but not the best ones for him. He doesn't have swordsman, so Napoleonic. He has 2 knights, so the fortifications isn't as great. Classic army wasn't that good because it didn't have the infantry or the swordsman.
Yeah, they just didn't quite fit.
Yeah. So I'm drinking a lot of water. And do you know what happens when you drink a lot of water?
You stay hydrated?
Yes, and you have to pee, so I will be right back. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, but...
I will man the fort here.
Nice, thanks.
Kimmo looks at wave of nationalism. He has a couple of aggressions, the tactics that aren't great. Yeah, but what does he want to do here? How's he going to win this game? That's the question. And he has very little infrastructure here to convert into culture yet. I guess he has scientific method and Sid Meier or Bill Gates. That would do pretty well. Thinking about the railroad, I guess that would get him a little stronger, and he's holding Kanman, but it might be hard to get into it. But yeah, he lets that go. So he took a cannon and frugality there, and upgraded irrigation, I think. Yeah, I think that's what he did. And got a cavalryman going. So at this point, getting rid of the cannon or the fortifications seems safe. Okay, he's gonna go back. Think about it again.
So I'm
cannon,
right.
frugality. So he took cannon, frugality. I think he upgraded irrigation and developed cavalrymen and upgraded one. I think that's what he did.
Interesting that he goes for the cavalryman.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, where does Kimmo go from here in this game? A little interesting.
Yeah.
He hasn't quite picked a direction yet.
Yeah, probably not culture production, because he put in the terrorism. And then military, yeah, that military position is really tricky. He had the colonization, I had the tactics in hand. But yeah, but not the best to draw with that. Also interesting to see strategy come down to 1, not being valued a lot. And now Pajada goes for Republic and not having to pay 3 selection for that, so probably the right move. Waiting with that a little bit. So what is Pajada thinking? I mean, he doesn't need the happy faces yet. What he really needs is, yeah, food. You have the spreadsheet open, right? Do you know if there's International Red Cross?
There's not.
There's
We have Internet, Hollywood, the United Nations, and Manhattan Project. Manhattan Project could be interesting in this game.
Okay, so he destroys a minus and okay, he wants another pair of he wants more from Shakespeare. I mean, he maybe will regret that once the iconoclasm comes up.
Yeah.
I mean, 16 culture production is quite nice, but is he ready to defend? Kimmo has 6 resource production.
Yeah, I mean, he's holding, well, I don't know what tactic he has. He has patriotism and wave of nationalism.
Yeah, it's probably the new one, right?
Positional?
Yeah, positionally, right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's patriotism and wave of nationalism in hand. Maybe that's enough.
Yeah, he has a tactic. Just needs to build the units he's already researched, largely.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty likely that he gets a mechanized army. They didn't, but I mean, that's something he's prepared for. Cannons and cavalrymen can give you a lot of great tactics.
So Kimmo has to put an event in here, right?
Yeah, he has to. I mean, he probably doesn't want to lose Nobel either, but yeah, you can't let him have Pajada. Can't Pajada have Shakespeare forever? And yeah, there it is, the iconoclasm. I would really like to see Pajada's reaction to that.
Yeah. I mean, Pajada's still producing 10. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, if Kimmo had a good H3 leader now that he could play, that would be the perfect play. That can be so mean if you open Iconoclasm and then have the perfect leader to replace, and your opponent is left with no leader at all. But yeah, Kimmo can't really take Chaplain, and all the other leaders have taken their time to show up.
Takes computers.
Yeah, he can go for the computers next turn, right? Upgrade. He has enough resources. I mean, he has the war. If he wants, he can commit to that. He could take strategy. I guess he also doesn't feel completely safe with that play against patriotism and wave nationalism. Yeah, it's a tough call.
It is. It is tough here. There's 2 engineering geniuses for 1.
Oh, yeah.
But there's, I mean, none of these wonders are that good in this situation. I mean, I guess Manhattan Project to help commit to the war more.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, this is about the time when Kimmo has to decide how he wants to go. But taking computers and movies instead of strategy and I guess maybe engineering genius would tell us that he doesn't want to go for the war, that he wants to find a way to produce more, to get good impacts. With the computers especially.
And he has a slight resource advantage. I mean, is there some way he can use that? I mean, Pajada has resources in hand, but they're military resources. So as Kimmo, you might be able to use your advantage a little bit on the infrastructure or economy side.
Yeah. Yeah, Pajada's economy is really in shambles. He doesn't have food, he doesn't have resources, science not that good. He only has culture. So the question, and he has civil actions, that he has. So yeah, the question really comes down to does Kimmo feel good with trying to overtake him in culture production and everything with his better infrastructure? And now he's showing us his other side, going for the 2 cavalrymen. And it's still pretty early in H3 and he's already down to 3 minutes in reserve. That's the problem with the Super Blitz. It can get pretty low in H3.
So if we have, if Movies sticks around, what do you think about Pajada doing Movies and Chaplain here?
To be honest, not the most. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you need depending a little bit on the other leaders that might come out now. Yeah, and yeah, you don't want to be left without any leader for too long. And Pierre shows up.
Yeah, shows up.
And Pajada does have the civil actions to pay for Pierre and has team spots in hand. This just got interesting. I think now you ditch the Movies and Chaplain plan, right? Now you go for Pierre and team spots. Well, so what does he delete with this? Takes Pierre, elects him, destroys his...
Your bronze?
Oh man. Goes up to 19. Yeah, the food, the population. If you have 6 population in printing press and dramas, and no food production, you're gonna have problems with that.
And there's 2 reserves right there also. I mean,
he definitely wants those, right?
Those.
Each of them is 1 population for free and some resources that he really needs. I think I like this more. Don't build the 3rd cavalryman.
Yeah.
Grab reserves, 2 of them. Still grab Pierre, I would say. I know. I don't think he should play the patriotism and the cavalryman. I don't really see a reason why. He can't. I mean, he maybe can't defend, but Kimmo won't play an aggression.
He can't, but yeah, it would be risky to try to do an aggression for sure.
Kimmo shouldn't have a reason to declare an aggression or to play an aggression. So keeping the patriotism in hand, you produce 1 more resource that might come in handy, and then taking Pierre. Maybe even just Pierre for his Olympic Games and denying that those 8 culture from the war can... Yeah, I mean, he's like a mini Gandhi that can prevent some wars.
It's gonna be kind of hard for Kimmo to take Pierre though, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. Also Kimmo, maybe Pajada also sees that Kimmo doesn't have the most military action, so maybe he's not as afraid. I mean, he has only 3, and Kimmo's science also isn't that great anymore. Oh, an input of culture drawn. That is... Bit of culture is slightly bit of a Pajada, but there are more territories to come. And Kimmo reveals... Oh, I didn't see that. Did you catch that?
Cold War.
Cold War. So, that's great for Kimmo. Can I go for computers? Takes revolutionary idea. Yeah, Kimmo won't take Pierre. Yeah, I guess we got too excited about Pierre that turn. Yeah, if you can take Pierre for 3 in 1 turn or for 1 selection the other turn, yeah, probably the better call to do it later. But Kimmo will take the fundamentalism, can go for that next turn with the revolutionary idea. So there he has his military actions that he needs for the war. Still probably hard for him to declare that. And there's military theory. I guess we're gonna see Pajada maybe pick that. Also, Kimmo has the option to go for Manhattan Project instead of military actions.
And Pajada actually, if he wanted to, he could do Manhattan Project also.
Oh yeah, he has Engineering Genius, so won't be the most culture, but definitely a lot of strength. Yeah, this is an interesting and close game. Pajada looking at his impacts. Impact of Culture, maybe a little bit too early. Hard to say, really. Kimmo has movies in hand that can swing that impact quite a lot. And especially with his low resource production, it's questionable if he can keep up with the culture production. Bit of colonies. Technology really bad against computers, of course. So he decides to skip politics. No, he goes back to maybe do play. Oh, so he wants to play the input of culture. Interesting. And revealed is the next territory, the Vast. But Pajada doesn't have any colonization cards.
No, Kimmo has 2.
Kimmo has 2. Oh. Yeah, so this definitely should be won by Kimmo.
And I mean, it's hard for Pajada to even bid at all.
Yeah. I mean, he would love the food and the yellow cubes, but...
Yeah, that is true. Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, he would... I mean, based on what he did last turn, he would win it and then just build his cavalrymen, right?
Yeah. But he can't bid more than 1, so he doesn't have the food, he doesn't have the resources to rebuild 2 cavalrymen easily. I mean, he has enough food theoretically, but yeah, he can't bid 2, I think. So these guys really thinking long about this territory. I mean, also Pajada has Invalid of Colonies in hand, so that could potentially be 3 culture. But yeah, he decides to bid 5, and Kimmo also hasn't decided yet. So both of these players taking their time with that decision, as he should do. And Kimmo he wants to bid 13. That's what he's thinking about, and he gets it for 6. Yeah, not quite as close as Kimmo probably thought.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still stronger even.
Oh yeah.
For the moment, anyway.
Oh, Pajada takes Man Project. Yeah, that probably makes you pretty safe from any wars.
And tanks.
And
tanks is good too.
Yeah. I'll go for team sports. Yeah, but you can't build one, right?
Who needs resources?
Destroy that. You have reserves, so you don't need resource production, right? Oh, yeah. He destroys... Yeah, I mean... Yeah, you can definitely destroy these printing presses. They're basically like philosophy labs, and you know, you should always delete all of your philosophy labs once the end game comes. So it seems solid. I mean, I wouldn't call his civilization balanced with 0 food income and 2 resource production. But yes, urban buildings are looking great, and 11 culture production now. I think he should...
Speaking of urban buildings, you know what event is next?
Terrorism, oh yeah. At least he doesn't have expensive urban buildings, right? And Kimmo can't reveal that.
Yeah, he has no events. Oh man.
And a bit of competition in there. Kimmo played that right, and Pajada has... I mean, that's actually really tricky, right? The terrorism will probably destroy like an arena from Pajada, and then he won't get the culture for the impact of competition from that. So that is interesting synergy. So probably if Pajada opens the terrorism, then Kimmo can play something as well, destroy the arena with the terrorism, and then reveal the competition, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good combo.
So what is Kimmo doing besides that? I thought about fundamentalism. I mean, do you think there will be a war this game?
I mean, it really doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I would like Bill Gates. He has 2 computers, so
Yeah, that's true.
probably not too late for that, I would say.
He was on Monarchy, right?
Yeah.
So he gets. Does he get one more action from fundamentalism then?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't know about that. And pajada will not declare Olympic Games yet, doesn't need it yet. But yeah, I mean, Kimmo is not producing a lot of culture, so pajada probably sees that and has good hope that he can win with this culture production if he defends, or if he can defend against wars, and so that, yeah, taking patriotism, military theory, and urban growth, can finish the wonder if he really needs to. Make it so that wars are really, really hard for Kimmo. I agree that completely, taking the patriotism especially. Yeah, he wants to destroy another printing press. As I said, you don't need them. Oh, and engineering is really, really great for the arenas especially. Those get really, really cheap then.
Yeah.
So yeah, doing everything he can to set up good military. And okay, goes for arena this turn. Instead of the engineering, place 1 reserve for that. I mean, it's 2 culture production, it's strength. If he plays like this, I think that's what he's thinking about right now. He can't finish the project next turn. Yeah, he just counted. He will have 4 resources next turn. Reserves is another 4. And then engineering genius is 5, so he can't finish the project.
He's 1 short. Yep.
Yeah. So he does the other way around that he had before. Seems reasonable. Trying 2 different routes. The one has the big issue of not finishing the project, so he goes with the other route, and yeah, I think I agree completely. And I think it's pretty unlikely that Kimmo can go for a war. With patriotism, pajada should be able to afford 1 cavalryman and the project. That's a lot of strength. Oh, does he really? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna do some math real quick.
Chet loves math. Yeah, I was surprised that pajada wanted to keep the hybrid war in hand. Don't think he has ever the possibility to go for that. So Kimmo reveals the terrorism.
Yes, it comes up finally.
And
he put impact of industry in, so that will be a little good for him.
Oh yeah. So he will destroy team spots?
I would assume so.
Yeah. It's the most expensive one. I mean, yeah, it also gives 2 culture, so the same as the dramas. If you compare those 2, the dramas and the printing press, the team sports, yeah, it's pretty clear which ones are the better building with Pierre.
Oh, now he gets Bill Gates.
Yeah, now he gets Gates.
And then I guess internet is okay for him.
But not great. Yeah, this is...
Yeah.
It's really hard to say who will win it. I mean, Kimmo has 1 more turn where he can declare war, but pajada will definitely declare the Olympic Games next turn. And yeah, he can't go for that, I think. He declares the war and then has 2 military actions. Maybe he can go for air forces, 2 of them. But against the Manhattan Project, that shouldn't be enough. And then Kimmo just can't keep up with the culture reduction from all of those dramas, from the printing presses early on.
Yep.
Doesn't have anything in hand that would give him a lot of culture. Impacts, I mean, a bit of competition isn't looking that great. It's okay, but he won't have insane culture from that impact.
Yeah, he has not drawn the impacts that
Oh,
would be most helpful for him.
now he goes for all of those knights. So I think I agree with that play. So far that war is his only option, I would think. So he has to spend military actions this turn, so he can declare the war and spend some more in the following turn. And time is running down. Problem is he won't have enough resources for 2 air forces next turn. Missing 1 resource, so if that is his plan. Oh, he also doesn't have the science, I guess. So maybe he just plans on getting 2 more cavalrymen for the tactic again. But against 16, against the strength from the Manhattan Project, I don't think that's going to be enough. And it's going to cost you 8 culture because of Pierre, so...
Yeah. It doesn't seem like enough.
So Pajada looking at his impacts. Architecture could be great if he goes for some more arenas. But Kimmo could easily, okay, place the colonies in competition. 6 against 9. Yeah, I probably would have liked to get that out a little bit later if he goes for some more arenas. So now the goal for Pajada, I think, is just collect as much strength as you can, build those arenas as many as you can, and still be able to finish the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, you can maybe build 1. Right? I guess if you take that urban, well, 10.
Oh yeah, there's 1 urban growth if you take that. What will you delete for the Air Force? Printing press, right?
Yeah.
No, the iron?
You don't need that.
Yeah.
It's only 2 resources.
I mean,
that does hurt the impact of industry a little bit that's in there.
Yeah.
Not that much.
Yeah, that's always... There's so many impacts that get punished, or that punish this kind of play. Harmony, balance, industry. But I mean, yeah, there's always going to be impacts you're not that good in, especially in such a messy game. So with the reserves and engineering genius, he has 9 resources, so he needs 5. Oh, maybe he wants to... Yeah, finish his Manhattan Project this turn, makes him even stronger. I mean, he has a bit of strength in hand, so he knows he doesn't need that. So I would like to see another arena instead of that.
Yeah, it seems like you would want to build the arenas, but be able to finish Manhattan Project.
Yeah. If he doesn't declare the war, you don't need to spend all of your resources on the Manhattan Project. I mean, it's really, really expensive, and it gives you 3 culture, so I would like to see another arena. Yeah, destroy that. He really wants Air Force. I mean, yeah, realistically, he won't lose this if not for a war. I mean, it's still not that decided. A big wonder from Kimmo could turn the tide, like internet, but that's a lot of civil actions that Kimmo really doesn't have. And it's also
I guess Payada's trying to get to a place where he's not open to an aggression here.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have any defend cards. I mean, as you said, usually Kimmo has no reason to play an aggression, but if it's the only way you could win, if that comes through, you can definitely risk that. And yeah, Payada doesn't have defend cards, so getting up strength this turn, probably a good idea. You don't want to, you're pretty sure that your opponent won't play that aggression, but you don't want to bet the whole game on that. And there took defend cards, so yeah. So H4 is reached, and Input of Balance and Industry from Kimmo in there. Yeah, there's balance. That is gonna hurt Payada a lot. Colonies gets revealed first, and also Input of Harmony in the hand of Kimmo.
Oh wow, that could make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Wow.
And could he take United Nations and finish it? I guess he doesn't have the resource. He just built a new computer.
I mean, there's one more turn, right? He would finish it next turn.
I mean, you could take United Nations, finish it this turn, and then also play the Input of Harmony, so you get that twice.
Yeah.
That was my thinking, but don't think he has the civil actions, right? No, he could do that. He could just take United Nations.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, yeah, you can also build the third computer. That's 3 culture from Bill Gates, 5 culture from the internet. Yeah.
He gets 12 from Harmony, right? I think.
Yeah, and Pajada gets
over Pajada. Kimmo gets 16. Pajada gets 4. No, he has more than 4.
Yeah, Pajada is 12.
Yeah, so it's actually not that.
Yeah, that's true. So Kimmo goes for the internet. Yeah. And he has a lot of food saved up. And he won't run new... I guess he can make the Input of Harmony really, really good if he increases population 3 times that he can. Prepare for the Input of Balance. And then United Nations is just too expensive for the civil actions. So like this, you can still take reserves and urban growth, and then build a couple of urban buildings and some other stuff to be even better in the Input of Harmony, and still finish the internet.
Yep, that seems good.
Yeah, with the index, it could definitely get close, right?
Close. Yeah. I mean, he's going to be down by 50, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, maybe 40 before impacts.
Yeah. In Pajada he still has Emerald of Strength in hand, right? I mean, it seems unlikely, especially, yeah, Kimmo has military build-up, so that seems pretty unlikely that Pajada can go for that. I guess it's gonna be a lot of math from Pajada that we're gonna see. And this amazing finish. That is actually really close. The culture isn't as close, but with the impacts, with the internet wonder, it could get really, really close, and that is exciting to see.
Yeah.
It's 1 turn left for both players after Kimmo plays this one, and we're not sure who's gonna win. I mean, Pajada's probably favored. But it could get a lot closer. So awesome second game.
Yeah. You had a Shakespeare plus Pierre game.
Yeah. That's the next challenge, I guess. I mean, yeah, if someone asked me if I would expect to see Shakespeare today, I would say maybe in the card row and then he would be gone. But picked, probably not. I mean, exciting times we're living in. I mean, maybe because I played Shakespeare in my last stream, people are now seeing that he can work. Maybe I'm giving myself too much credit, who knows? No, I think Pajada had a great setup, but I was really surprised that he really, really wanted to go for that with the printing press and everything. So Pajada, what impacts does he have in hand? He's looking at Kimmo's civilization at the moment. Also, a huge shout out to all of you guys watching this at the moment. Almost 50 viewers for this amazing tournament of Through the Ages. So thanks all of you for joining. And we're gonna have a really close end game. And impacts, that is always the greatest moment, when impacts in the end decide who's gonna win. And this is not even the last game. We're gonna have one more game after this and see 4 players qualify for the main event, where they will be battling it out for $50.
Now, there have been at least 2 games that we've had in our tournaments where we were sure someone was going to win before impacts, and they didn't.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Are we going to have another one? I don't know if my heart can take it.
Yeah. So pajada could play Input of Happiness, right? He should, I guess. Yeah. Input of Happiness is really good for him. It's pretty safe. Kimmo won't. He doesn't have technologies to go for more happy faces. So that is a very clear card where pajada will win by quite a lot.
Yeah.
There's the industry. At least that happens before pajada deletes his mine, if he wants to go for that. Nope, goes for one arena. Has enough
He
for
deleted
another
the
one.
cavalryman, right?
Yeah, maybe he's preparing for... Yeah, he's preparing for Harmony. Destroys the printing press. Those poor printing presses, man. He went for them so early,
Yeah.
and then now he destroys all of them.
They did their job.
Yeah, they did. They allowed him to go for Shakespeare, and yeah, now he doesn't need them anymore. And Impact of Culture, yeah, I mean, okay, with Impact of Culture in there, that's gonna be 10 for pajada, and then the Impact of Happiness is gonna be a lot for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Pajada's gonna win this.
It sure seems like it. He says the impacts are split pretty evenly. Yeah.
Is pajada baiting an aggression? Going down to 20. Seems like it, right?
He actually can defend, though.
Yeah, he can defend. He's baiting that, so Kimmo doesn't play an impact,
yeah.
but thinks he can play an aggression.
Yep. We know he probably won't.
Yeah,
He's
wasting
one-
all of
one-
those civil actions.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question will be, will Kimmo play an aggression? Or will he play his Embed of Harmony? So, final turn for Kimmo and final turn of the game. This is gonna be exciting.
I'm gonna say he's gonna play Harmony.
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, you could say that he thinks his only way to win is by playing the... Okay, he doesn't even have an aggression armed intervention. Oh, what event was revealed?
Culture, I believe. I believe his
Okay,
impact of
yeah, it
culture.
should have been culture. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Pajada got 10 from that. Sadly, we dropped some FPS on Kimmo's device, but no problem. It was the culture. So next is Input of Balance, Science, and Harmony. Those three are really good for Kimmo, but the Input of Happiness is very good for Pajada. Okay, so Kimmo goes for another computer. He should have attacked him early mid-game, he thinks. And both of them running out of time all the time. Yeah, these players take their time. And he's predicting Input of Happiness. He's such a good player. He knows what impact Pajada has drawn. Yeah, that's... Okay, there we have it. I guess we're gonna go to Pajada's screen for that. Shakespeare special for DJParson. You see when I'm... What is he writing? Are you on Pajada's screen?
Yeah. It says Shakespeare special. You see when I'm playing his among first cards from H2.
Yeah.
So he needs to go look at impacts.
Yeah, he needs to look at the impacts. The problem is Kimmo has bad internet or something, so I want to see it from Pajada's perspective, but he's just writing. So yeah, there we can see it. Internet finished by Kimmo, and he produces 6 culture. So we go into it with 30 points lead for Pajada.
It's 8 for Harmony.
Science. Oh, it gets Ooh.
4.
Happiness.
Lose
Yeah,
to
happiness
the
saves
tournament.
him. And then
10.
comes in Gates.
It's
Oh
9 for
boy.
Gates.
Oh.
4 points. Man.
Okay. That got a lot closer than I thought. With impacts, science especially. Whew.
Yeah, it was close.
That was very close. That was an awesome game. I hope all of you guys really enjoyed that. That is such a high level play and high level players. These guys are so good and such an amazing finish.
Yeah, wow. That was really close. I mean, when I think when at the same around the same point you made your prediction, I was thinking that it was not going to be that close. I think I forgot about Gates also. Just when I was
he gets given
tallying up at the
12
end.
culture, right? 12 culture from
Yep.
Gates. So if he hadn't had that input of happiness,
Yeah, that was it. He drew it last turn too.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh boy, what a
1 card.
yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
Really well played by both of these. Really amazing. Well done, well done. So I think we're gonna have a look at the rest of the games, right?
Yes, let's do that. It looks like they're all finished.
Oh, yeah, I guess pajada and Kimmo played pretty slow, so that makes sense. So let's hop into the bracket, and we can see Narcarato was able to win against Kiang, so he goes up to the next round. Oh, Lucas against Glam doing 1 point difference.
1 point.
1 point. Glamding, I think he wrote in the chat as well that I saw that before, that he wrote that really close. Oh man, 1 point. That is, yeah, that is close.
Yeah, I think they're saying Bill Gates is what topped him, put him over the top.
Yeah, Bill Gates can always come in the end. We even forgot about him a little bit.
He did.
Yeah, that it can be so much. And then Fabian able to win it against Guardius. So Fabian, we saw him in the last game pretty convincingly again. So Fabian definitely one of the top contenders, I would say. And then we just saw pajada against Kimmo, also really close, and pajada able to win. Weidenbaum able to win against Hibu. So Hibu is out.
The champion has fallen again.
Yeah, he was the winner from the last tournament. So yeah, really sad to see him get beaten by Weidenbaum. But yeah, against Weidenbaum that can definitely happen. Yeah, too bad. But yeah, congratulations to Weidenbaum, of course. We are not biased or anything. Really awesome to see him pull it off. And then yeah, Hannes against Gogu was a free win. That was not a 1 culture win, guys. Don't worry. That was Gogu didn't show up, so Hannes proceeds. And then Busy Beaver was able to win against Kiolo. And then Wiz again winning it against Freddy Krueger Killer. So those are going to be the 4 last games, and the winners of each of these games will qualify for the main event that is going to be in 2 weeks.